This is the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. We are creating millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, one dime at a time. And that means you. So we're talking about it being a seller's market, and or so they say, it's a seller's market. And if you own real estate, you need to know when to fall out of love with the walls. Let me repeat. If you own real estate, you need to know when to fall out of love with the walls. Or you need to understand when it's time to take advantage of the economic conditions surrounding your real estate assets, and truly build wealth, truly pay off debt, truly get your family to the next level, to the next dimension. I'm going to say, people talk about the next level. I'm talking about the next dimension. I'm talking about getting to a space that only God could even dream of. God will bless you exceedingly and abundantly, more than you can ever ask or imagine, according to his power at work in you. So if you have real estate, you must know when the power needs to work for you. I know so many people who own real estate, and they have property that may have been left to them decades ago, maybe a generation or two ago, but they don't know what to do or when to properly exit from that asset in order to build wealth. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about. Of course, we said this is a seller's market, or at least it has been. The year did not start out that way. It started out being a buyer's market. That's why I was able to get the deal of a lifetime. And now, after only about 90 days or a little bit more of having my property, we've got, 7 million, or I should say we should have 7 figures, not 7 million, 7 figures in equity. And so if it can happen for me, I know that it can happen for other people as well. So the reverse has kind of flipped. When I bought my house, the developers were giving the houses away because of the supply chain shortages. We know that a supply chain shortage is really a famine. And historically, throughout biblical times, whenever there was a famine, God was ready to bless his people. Okay, can anybody say Abraham? Can anybody say Isaac? Can anybody say Joseph? Well, I'm now saying Lynn Richardson, and you need to say your name and put it on in there with that famine blessing, that happens over time. And so the things kind of moved, and people were putting their properties on the market, and then everybody was offering way more money than what they could get. And so I know people who put their properties on the market and had them sold within an hour, had 20, 30 offers within an hour. On my property that I own, I came to understand that there were a list of over 24 people who wanted to buy my home, and many of the offers were several. They were much larger than what I paid. So if you are in this position, I want you to start to think about, there are going to be 3 R's that I'm going to deal with in this segment. I'm going to talk about the first R being rehab. Is it time to take your real estate? Is it time to take the place where you live and improve it? Because you can potentially get a bigger dollar for your property, now is not the time to just let it go to waste. Now may be the time to take advantage of not only it being a seller's market, but also to take advantage of the higher appraised values that may go along right now in this seller's market. And so if you live in a property, you can rehab it. You can get more bathrooms, less bathrooms, more bedrooms, less bedrooms. You can convert a large single family home into a 2-unit building. You can rent out the other unit and then put yourself in a position to be able to take that piece of property and now earn money while you're living in that property. Earn money and live for free. Okay, so if you want to get to the next level financially, you've got to figure out how you're going to live for free. If you want to get to the next level financially, you've got to figure out, how am I going to put myself in a position to keep as much money as I possibly can, to keep as much money in my pocket, to keep as much money in my bank account as I possibly can. So you can rehab a house, you can convert it, you can actually put a business in your home. So you can have the business on one level and then living quarters on the second level and third and fourth level or what have you, as long as you're going to live in one, and you can do this and have no mortgage payment for 6 months. You can do this. Now is the time to figure out how you're going to get to the next level. You may have wanted to open that daycare. Now may be a great time to take your property and turn one piece of it into a daycare, and then be able to provide some reasonable daycare to people who have to work. See, I believe if you focus on being a blessing, then you will learn the lesson. And the lesson will then reward you financially. If you focus on being the blessing, then you can learn the lesson, and the lesson can reward you financially, right? So there's so many parents out there. There are so many people out there who have young children, and you may be just the person to turn your home into a business, living quarters, and an estate that is actually producing more than a steak, right? Because we think about going to somebody's house. We go to Big Mama's house for a meal. You're talking about the steak, S-T-E-A-K, and I'm talking about an estate, E-S-T-A-T-E, that has value, that is increasing in value, and that is providing true wealth for your family. So you want to think about the rehab piece. You may think you have to have excellent credit. That's not the truth. You may think you have to have a certain amount of equity. And in some cases, you do have to have equity. But in this case, you are allowed to go up to 110% of the value of your home. So if you owe $50,000 on your home and you want to rehab it, you can go up to you can put up to $60,000 in it to rehab it, because what this particular program knows and understands is that you are going to see appreciation in that property with those improvements. And right now, with it being a seller's market, if you own real estate, you probably don't even have to go up that high. I'm not suggesting that you do go up that high. What I'm saying is LTV, loan to value. That is the relationship between your loan amount and the appraised value. That does not have to be a deterrent right now. Many times people say it's 80% loan to value or 70% loan to value, meaning if your home is worth $100,000 and you owe $70,000 on it, 70 to 100, that's 70%, then your loan to value is 70%. So you can go up to 110% loan to value if you are thinking about rehabbing. It is a seller's market. Now is the time for us to know what we're going to do in real estate. If we own real estate, if you don't own real estate, then go to buyahomewithlynn.info or text me at 818-651-6648. I think that's the number. Let me look at my phone number. I don't even know my phone number, y'all. Hold on for a minute. If you want to know more about getting a home, you can text me, and I have to look up the number, and the number is 818. Here it is right here. The number is 818-651-8854, 818-651-8854. And on the next segment, we're going to talk about the other two R's in a seller market.